My trafficker was my husband. There was no way I could reach out to anybody for help.
We're scared. We're scared to run. We're scared to tell anybody what's going on.
It was an incredibly violent situation. I felt like there was no way I could get out.
It was awful. The whole experience.
I was full-time babysitter and house cleaning, cooking. I wasn't getting paid. I was lied to, I was abused. I didn't know I was a victim of human trafficking until I told my story.
Human trafficking is really compelling someone to any form of work or service against their will.
Force, fraud, and coercion is really the crux of the crime.
Human traffickers can be just about anyone from any walk of life. Owners of small businesses, head of a household. A lot of the trafficking involves domestic servitude. Hoteliers, restaurant owners, owners of massage parlors, agricultural farm owners.
There can be a trafficker who tells a woman, I want to be your boyfriend, I love you, and if you love me, you're going to go out and have sex for money. It can be kind of psychological like that, or it can be more overt and more physical. It can be hitting, abusing, keeping them away from any support systems.
They may have their documents taken away from them, a passport and things like that, and they're sort of held in a way that makes them fearful to complain. And if they do complain and they're fired.
One myth about trafficking is that it involves people being smuggled in containers across borders. Smuggling is a crime against a border. Trafficking is a crime against a person.
I still see this attitude of it's just immigrants or it's just people in other countries. It happens to U.S. citizens so much more than people are aware.
There really is no one profile of a trafficked person. There are clearly themes or patterns, but if you look through the investigation reports, you'll see cases that are very, very diverse.
Trafficking, it doesn't know any boundaries. And it happens all over America. So I came from kind of a more privileged background, but it still happened to me, and a male. The victim can be male, female, transgendered, anyone.
There is a myth out there, partly because of movies, that trafficking victims are chained up, and that's not the case, but it doesn't make the victim any less unable to leave. Oftentimes they're worried for their family members. Traffickers will often say, I know people that will do things to them.
We need to understand that freedom of movement does not equal freedom of choice. Most of the time, being trapped is something we can't see. It's something that a trafficker pinpoints as a vulnerability and is able to use against the victim.
You're initially brainwashed, and then over a period of time you become conditioned where you start to accept that this is all you can do.
The natural stakeholders in this issue are certainly law enforcement, legal advocates, social service providers. There's other players involved as well.
It is important to engage the community in human trafficking cases because victims often don't self-identify. They don't come forward to law enforcement.
Okay, siwa na po ako. Thank you, bye-bye.
We
I try to make sure the community is educated regarding human trafficking, because those citizens in the community are the eyes and the ears.
It's medical workers, it's educators, it's personnel at homeless shelters.
There has to be a support system within the community, psychological counseling, shelter, and vocational education, so they can reintegrate, become a healthy individual.
We can't do this alone. No one has the capacity to provide every single thing that a victim or survivor of human trafficking needs.
There's an intentional effort to get everyone together so we know how to share resources, we know how to work together, and to make sure at the end of the day, a victim becomes a survivor.